So here's a little micro deal again, and this time I've got one of these guys right here, 650 volts. It's on the cheaper side of them. I ended up changing the 15 volt regulator I had on here for another 12 volt that I found. I noticed that the CD4046 started inputting to this gate driver here. It presented a lot of ripple on the voltage rail. Couldn't really get rid of that. 15 volts, that ripple was actually a few volts. The end result is a slower rise time, and just to make it easier, I added some top loads on here. So basically I'm just going to test this little SiC fit out on this setup, and I'm going to have it at 1 volt on the bus. So cut the circuit on. So that's actually the gate drive right there. See, it's fairly slow. I'll cut that on at 1 volt. Then if I swing the VCO around, I eventually get it to its brightest, which is about right there. So again, about less than a watt. But this is fixed frequency, so you can kind of see what's happening. It's changing around depending on how it's loaded. And if I cut it up to 5 volts, bring this back. So now I have to readjust it. So you see already pulling about 3 amps, 5 volts. And let's put it about 12 volts. About 12, and tune it to get a little streamer there. So you see already pulling like 50 watts, 12 volts. Gate drive doesn't look all that great. It's not bad though. Pretty decent output for 12 volts. Again, it's fixed frequency. So there's different ways you can tune that. It actually looks a little better, like that, for example. So if I was to start cutting the voltage up higher to get a breakout, it's not pulling a lot. That'll probably run a little better. But with this particular tuning, that's with the biggest breakouts. So I don't want to go too high, like 15 volts maybe. So the way that's tuned. Again, that's looking a little better, something like that. With this being so detuned, I can probably still pull arc from it like that. So tuning, again, fixed frequency, that's how it's working. 17 volts right now, it's pulling about an amp. And by pulling that little bush out, pulls it up to about 4.5 amps. Alright, so unloaded, loaded. Doesn't take a lot of voltage. I'm already like 80 watts. We'll set up like that. That's the thing, you could actually pull a little streamer out at very low voltage. Keep cutting it down. Let's do about 7 volts. That's a little plasma streamer, 3.2 megahertz or so. About 7 volts equals like 3 amps. If I was to raise the coupling even more, then I'd get an even bigger streamer. Not bad. I don't know if I can do 5. Yep, 5 volts. Still a little baby streamer. Do 4 volts. Oh, it just went out. It still had a streamer at about 4 volts though. That's not bad. About 15 volts or so. Actually not bad. That FET right there runs pretty good, you know. Heatsink still cold. It's not the top of the line SiC FET that you'll find out there, but it's probably like $7, I think. You know, it doesn't like a whole lot of ringing, so you really got to snub whatever ringing is going to occur. So if I start trying to bring that up to like 20 volts, even though I have it, looks like it's switching fairly well, once there's too much ringing going on, I can hear it really start to struggle. This right now, I can feel the gate driver is, it's pretty warm. I can put my finger on it. It's not like too hot, but it's getting there. So again, a little over 3 megahertz. I'll probably throw a heat sink on it or something. But seems to run fine. The slow gate drive right there. So at 15 volts, it was much faster. But again, I had a bunch of ripple going on.